Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I'm too loud. I am a very loud person, so I'll do my best to control that. My name is Ray Villar. I am your general manager here at HVLA, and I'm proud to be here and to help out the association the best that I can do. And we're here to meet our candidates, so welcome to Candidates Night. Tonight we have two candidates for the 2 seats on the HVLA board with a term of 3 years. Please observe proper decorum. Interruptions, catcalling, and clapping will only take away from the time we have to hear the candidates' answers. Please respect the process and observe proper decorum. We have over 33 questions, and now there were some write-ins over there, so I'll make sure I'll get to them all. So we have, how many we have, 35? 35, thank you. 35 questions inside the box here, and we'll ask as many questions as possible. For opening and closing statements, candidates will have 3 minutes for their opening statements and their closing statements and 2 minutes for each question. You guys good with that? All right. You guys been through this before, so we have the red, green, and yellow light. So when the green light is on, the timer begins speaking. Yellow light means you have 30 seconds left, and when your time is up, it turns red. Please be respectful of your time and your fellow candidates. To the extent that you go over your time, once the red light comes on, we are going to track the amount of time and will be deducted from your 3-minute closing statement. Robin will be managing that part. Hopefully, we do not have to worry about that. Try to stay on time as much as possible. We will rotate you guys first every question. So we'll ask Teresa first question, and then I'll go to Barbara, and then back and forth. So candidates will be the first. I don't think I have to read that anymore. That's good. We will ask as many questions as possible, and I'm not going to go through all the questions received, but I'll do my best. I know some people ask all the questions, but I don't think we want to stay here too late, but we'll try to manage that part as best as we can. So with that, we are going to start off with the opening statements of Ms. Teresa Enns.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Teresa Enns. For those that don't know me, I want to represent you on the board of directors of Hidden Valley Lake Association. For the last 3 years, I directed a Facebook group to help myself and the community stay updated on and discuss issues within the HOA. Even though I know that as a member, I can help the community by promoting ideas that eventually can be petitioned, I also want to join the board and tackle our problems from a different point of view. I have been a member for 21 years. I have a background in residential construction, management, and building. I have also held a real estate license for the last 5 years. I have attended budget workshops and most board meetings during the last 3 years. I actively read the most important aspects of our governing documents to better understand our current situation. The lack of membership inclusion and capital improvement is a huge problem in our HOA. I believe this practice had an effect in dues increases. In addition, we constantly subsidize 2 public businesses, the public Greenview Restaurant and a public golf course. Our HOA model is outdated. Modern HOAs separate their expenses of golf courses and the restaurants. Separating these expenses, membership dues can be charged more fairly. I believe that by having a more balanced dues assignments, we can focus on spending in other needed areas such as our fire mitigation and practices in our levee maintenance. We have a beautiful community. Let's work together to update the infrastructure and better our overall results. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Next up, Barbara Chenichin.
Hope you're enjoying those drinks. So my name is Barbara Hartman Jenishin. I'm sorry. My name is Barbara Hartman Jenishin, and I've lived here for 20 years and owned property here for 22 years. 2 years of it was a rental. I enjoy my community. I love the area, and I wish it nothing but the best. I'm currently running for the board to represent our members in an open fashion. I'm currently on the board now, and I'm seeing the depth and the scope of what it takes to be a good director, and it takes a lot of grit, which we've experienced this last week. So what I see that we need to take care of is our fire mitigation. I think we need to move that July 1st date up and make it either June 1st or May 15th. I know that will cost extra money because we will probably have to have a second round of weed whacking, but I think that's the best thing we can do with money is to secure our safety and to make sure that our houses don't burn, because what good are we without our homes? And that will take some budgeting. We have to find that money. The other thing is figuring out who owns that levee, and if it's the actual levee, if it's the actual levee that is causing flooding, or is it the drainage on the flats? Is that what's causing the actual flooding? So that needs to be investigated. The other thing is we need to move forward. We need to get solar going here. We are paying an extreme amount of money to PG&D every year for this building and for the golf course and the other amenities. And if we could get our solar up and running, which will take money, everything takes money, we would be a lot better off and we would reduce our carbon footprint. The other thing has to do with our dues. We have to keep our dues reasonable. We have a lot of people here living on fixed incomes or will soon be living on fixed incomes, and we can't keep raising these dues a great deal. So I feel like doing the budget, we have cut back and we're coming in pretty good this year. And I think you'll be happy with what you find. So the budget gets settled actually this week. So you'll all be hearing about that at the Thursday meeting. So that's time out.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Next, I'll be asking the questions. We will be starting with Barbara since we started with Teresa the first one. So we'll start with Barbara. These questions are in no particular order. They're randomly picked. I'm randomly picking them. These are questions that came from the members of the association as we discussed and as we mailed out and as information went out. So Barbara, I'm just going to go in the hats. You guys ready? Teresa, you good? All right, Barbara, you ready? All right, let's do this thing. All right, for the first question for Barbara, and then we'll ask you the same question. For things like security, how would those same services be provided? For example, if there is a fight at the beach or at the bar, who would deal with that? Barbara.
That would be our security department with John Drago and his squad. They would deal with that, and they would either find the people, or if it was an actual fist fight or was bigger than that, then they would call the sheriff to come in and handle it.
To be fair to you, the question, I think there was verbiage before that, if we start cutting costs, how, for things like security, how would those same services be provided? And so on. So I think that was the beginning of that part of that question.
Don't see us cutting services to security. We're living in Lake County. People live here because we want our gates and we want our security. Or, you know, we're not gonna want to live in Lake County. I know I don't. So I know we approved more man hours for security this year. And we'll continue to support our security department, which does an excellent job.
Thank you very much. Teresa,
The question again, please.
definitely. If we plan on cutting costs for things like security, how would those same services be provided? For example, if there is a fight at the beach or at the bar, who would deal with that?
If we were cutting cost, I believe if it's at the beach, I think our security can be called, and also the sheriff. When we are at the bar, same thing. We need to understand that our security cannot, for what I know, they cannot touch people. I had an incident at one of the meetings when one of the members got really close to me and was yelling in my ear, and they couldn't do anything. So yes, please think that you can call the sheriff and also security. They can do something about it, but we also need the sheriff here, especially at the bar with people drinking and the public coming here. We should be calling, the sheriff first, because this is a public restaurant.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Next question. Hold on, let's get Robin's clock going again. Give us a minute. All right, so next question, it will be for Teresa. What would you cut from our budget? Teresa.
I can't answer that. I mean, what can we cut from the budget? I think the budget needs to be looked at and as a whole. So that's not, this is a very broad question, I believe.
Barbara, same question. What would you cut from our budget?
Cut. I mean, we trim the budget every year when we look at the budget. Having gone through that this year, we trim where we can and we save where we can, but I don't think anything needs to be cut because we have amenities that have to be taken care of. So it's amenities first, cut second.
Thank you very much. Next question, we'll start with you, Barbara. Head of Security, John Drago, needs increased security patrols overnight. What is your position on this, Barbara?
I totally understand needing the position, a second position for overnight. You can't have just one security person out here on their own at night. If something happens in Unit 9 and then something on the flats, someone's going to be left high and dry. So we do need 2 patrol cars out at night.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hens. Yeah. Hit it. Hit it. That's a delay? Okay. Teresa.
Can you please repeat the question?
Head of Security, John Drago, needs increased security patrols overnight. What is your position on this?
So this was accepted. It was voted on at the budget meeting, and it was approved. One thing that I was very, I don't know, I wanted John Drago to be there at the meeting, and because it's one of the most important days in the association when they're accounted for the next year. And there were questions by board members about if we have more people that can be moved from the day shift to the night shift. I didn't know that we only had one person at night, and I believe, yeah, 2 would be nice. I see a few during the days, and some people say many show up to one place. I don't know. I haven't witnessed that, so I can't speak for that. But yeah, it's great that they have 2 now.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go in the big bag, see what I can pull out. All right, this is for Teresa. To both candidates, are you a convicted felon?
I can't, not that I know of.
Thank you. Barbara?
No, I'm not a convicted felon.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is we'll start with Barbara. What is your knowledge or experience applying for and managing grants?
I only have friends that are grant writers. I don't have a lot of experience in it. I have a little bit of knowledge and I want to get more knowledge because I think we really need to get on top of this grant business and it will save us thousands and thousands of dollars. And we have to investigate how to get a freelance grant writer in here that can find us a partner. You have to have a partner, like the water department was our partner when we went for the levies grant, and we need to have a partner because we're a nonprofit. So we need to get a freelance writer in here to help us with this because it will save us. So it'll save us more than their salary. So, and I would like to learn about grants myself. So that's what I know.
Thank you very much. Teresa, same question. I will repeat that, yes. What is your knowledge or experience applying for and managing grants?
So I went to college, so I applied for grants. I did it all with grants. And so, yes, it's good to have the knowledge to know how to go about applying grants for our association, since we're the size of a town and we should be included in any available grants in the county.
Thank you very much. All right, next question. We'll start with you, Teresa. How can we support our local businesses?
Our local businesses. I would say by promoting having events that includes them, giving promotions and say the event centers deals for them. That's all I can think of.
Thank you very much. Barbara, how can we support our local businesses?
Well, I make my daily trip to Hardisters every day because I've always forgotten something. So I do support that business. I use local whenever I can. I go to Middletown and use many places there. How HVL can support them. I think if we're having venues that are outside and they want to promote something, we can invite them to leave their cards or their brochures. And that would be a way for them to promote their business locally, nail salon places and hairdressers, and whoever wants to promote can, you know, come to the event and leave a card or a brochure.
Thank you very much. Barbara, we'll start with you, this one. All right. How will you protect property values?
Well, I'll tell you, I've recently been educated by another director about our property values. And the way we really protect them is we keep our assessments in line. We don't jump them up because every time an assessment goes up, your property value goes down, because now who's ever looking for a piece of property has to not only qualify for that loan, but they also have to qualify for that HOA dues, and it lowers their buying power. So when you read the real estate blurb and clear lines, if you look down, and you will now see it's 205 a square foot, where earlier in the year it was 220 a square foot. So we're feeling the pinch of property values. So I think by keeping our current dues in line and not raising them over the amount of inflation, that we can stay abreast with property values.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Teresa, how will you protect property values?
Like Barbara said, to keep our dues increases in line. At this for budget for 2025, the proposed increase from management was 9%. I was shocked. So right now, I don't know how, but there were many things were moved, whatever taken out, and now we are at about 3.9, but it's not finished yet, so it most likely will go up for what I see. But when I moved here in 2003, the dues here were about $100. And if you account for inflation, which I looked up, right now we would be at about $200 if we were to look at inflation and our dues, how they have increased. And since I've been here, I know that it was a boom in housing when I first moved here, but then when the house market crashed, everything just flattened and it hasn't gone up that much. But yet our dues increases there now at almost $300 and going up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next question. We'll start with you, Teresa. What is our biggest challenge and how will you bring our community together?
I think none of us wants to, some people, or there is a misconception that some of us wants to get rid of amenities. Well, I've been here more than 20 years and I barely use any of the amenities. I never golf and whatever. And gosh, I lost track. What was the question again? Sorry.
No problem. What is your biggest challenge and how will you bring our community together?
Okay, so the misconception about the amenities, we all want our property values to go up. We will all want to see that golf course, even if we don't use it. We want to see it. Some of us, we just like to come to the restaurant and see the greens. It's beautiful out there. Many people, they golf. Some don't, some use the lake, some don't. Some people use the pool. I never, maybe once in 23 years I have used a pool. But there are things that were here when I bought here. And that is not, my problem is to make sure that there are amenities equal our dues, that they're matching so our property values do not go down.
Thank you very much. Barbara, would you like me to repeat the question?
Please.
What is our biggest challenge and how will you bring our community together?
Well, our biggest challenge is coming together and getting into present time and accepting what we have before us. We have the Greenview here now. It was not a popular thing when it was built, but it's here now and we have to support it. The golf course we have to support because it is an amenity. I think by watching our budget and maybe getting solar going to run those sprinklers would greatly cut down on our PG&E. And if we watch our subsidies and get some cash flow going in here, because there should be a cash cow and it's not. So we need to figure out how to draw more people here, which is an age-old song. And the other thing is, I don't know if I should go here, but I think we should all take a break from social media. I think it's gotten, I think it's gotten really ugly out there, and I'm sorry I partook because I thought that's what the site was about, to make jokes and stuff. So I wrote a little movie script and put it on there, and it wasn't received well, and nobody took it as a joke. And, you know, I talked to the person I offended and I was like, hey, I'm from film. I wrote a movie script for you. You know, I was joking. It was, you know, a joke. So I think we ought to go back to being kind to each other and, you know, go do something else. Don't sit on Facebook and just harass people. It's just not right.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on. It's going to Barbara. How will you specifically support our safety and security department?
Well, I think if you see something, say something. Like, there seems to be an influx of kids driving wildly on these golf carts. I hear they have to be 16 and have a driver's license. Hard for me to tell a 16-year-old from a 10-year-old these days. I can't judge their ages. But when you see them doing swirlies in the road and wheelies, you got to call security because they're going to end up hurting themselves and someone else. And the other thing is be polite to our security people. When you drive into the gate, if they don't quite know what you want, be polite anyway and wait till they can answer your question before jumping on them. And if you want to do a ride along, I'm sure Don will set it up for you if you want to see what it's really like to ride along and do a security role.
Thank you. Teresa, same question. If you'd like me to repeat it, I will, definitely. How will you specifically support our safety and security department?
By have clarity. I think we all deserve a chance. If something is not that's questionable, have it investigated and have our community be working for all of us. Problems because we are not perfect. We all not perfect. If somebody comes with a complaint, please follow up on it. And I think if you tell them, instead of going to the Facebook page and complain about it, come to them first and see how they handle it. Make sure they handle it. Follow the ladder of management. If a problem happens, follow up with it. So it doesn't become a big deal.
Thank you. All right, next question. I will start with you, Teresa. We would like to know where all candidates stand on the Greenview golf course, security, and the new community center. Do they support all of these items? And if not, why not?
Of course, everything is, I support everything. What I would like to work on is how much we spend on them. And I would love to look at them differently from a different perspective. So if we can do it in a different way, like I said on my opening statement, our HOA model is outdated. HOAs that were formed from 1990 and on, they were built differently. Their golf course and their clubhouses, they would be separate. Their dues would be separate. You will have one for the general public and another one for the golf course. Some older communities have moved to this modern way. I currently, I'm a member of a different HOA, and it's like this one. It's outdated, but guess what? I pay 30% less in dues, and our golf course is included.
Thank you very much. Barbara, would you like me to repeat the question? We would like to know where all candidates stand on the Greenview golf course, security, and the new community center. Do they support all of these items? And if not, why not?
Well, I do support the Greenview, the golf course, and of course, security. The community center, I'm hoping is going to be rebuilt 26, 27. And this isn't a want. This is a legal rebuild. We have to rebuild our community center. It was torn down years ago. And the law is like for like, you must rebuild the community center. So I totally support the community center being rebuilt. I don't know exactly where the money will come from that, but I'm sure if we budget it right and we do it modestly, we can have a very fine building where we can have, for God's sakes, a teen center, a place for me and mom, a place to have sewing lessons, a place to have potlucks, maybe a bridal shower or a baby shower, where community can get together and play games and enjoy each other inside of our gates.
Thank you very much. All right, Barbara, start with you. What are your thoughts about keeping security, or do you think there is a better alternative?
I don't think there's a better alternative. No.
Thank you very much. Teresa, same question.
I believe what we have now is fine. And then if somehow the membership would go change, say they don't support our association, like currently we have over almost half of the lots owners are not paying their dues. So we have a little bit of a falling system, and I believe we need to get back up to address those issues to keep the way we are right now.
Thank you very much. Next question. Please, this is for Teresa. Please tell me why you are running for the board.
I feel that we need change. I drove around, I went and knocked on doors. I spoke to a few of our older community, and it's really sad to hear the things that they have to say, that they have to move out of the association because they cannot afford them anymore, because they believe the increases are more than what they're getting, the increases they're getting from their income from government, Social Security or whatever they're getting. And it's really sad to see that. And I want to see change. I looked it up, and like I said before, inflation, we are above it for the last 20 years, and it's really sad. We can come down. We can look at our the way things are managed. Let's look at it deeply and make some changes.
Thank you. Barbara, same question. Why? Please tell me why you are running for the board.
I'm running for the board because I feel that I want to represent our members. I will always be open to hearing what members' needs are and how we can help them out to achieve it. Not that we can always achieve it, but at least to relieve them of the pressure of trying to figure out what to do about something. I want to be on the board to help reduce our budget, to save more money, to get that community center built, to have a happy community again, to, I don't know, just, I want to be there to help people. It's what I've always done, is try to help.
Thank you very much. All right, next question. We'll start with you, Barbara. What is your personal experience with disaster recovery or preparedness?
Well, I think I was in the Prieta earthquake in San Francisco, and I was the first one in the warehouse to feel the earthquake, and I ran out and yelled, you know, earthquake, get under something. And then the earthquake hit, and thank goodness they were on a break, because they had a glass desktop in the room they were filming in, which lights fell on and broke it all up. And then we had to get out of the city and handle that okay. And then the next crisis was the Valley Fire up here. And I waited, my husband and I put off evacuating till 2 a.m. That was not a good idea. We should have evacuated when they told us to. And so we ended up driving down 29 with fire on both sides of the road. Nobody else was out there anymore. So I learned from that. I also didn't know where Buckhorn was even because I just moved to Ravenhill and I thought, where the hell's Buckhorn? You know, there's supposed to be an emergency exit on Buckhorn, and finally found that so we could get out. And so I learned through that you have to stay in tune. You've got to know where you are and where you're going to go and what you need to take with you and have it ready to go, and make sure you got those animal crates out and ready for the animals, maybe even have them in there if there's something going on. So, you know, and if there's any classes coming up, which I think there might be, then take those classes about how to survive emergencies.
Thank you very much. Same question, Teresa. I will repeat if you like. What is your personal experience with disaster recovery or preparedness?
So you guys know about the fire in Paradise. When I was very young, that was a beautiful community, and I wanted to move there. Later here, I was here for the Valley Fire. I went up to the hillsides to watch the fire. The fire started around 2 p.m. By the time we came back around 4, we went to see it in the mountains. We saw the flames coming at us. By the time we were here, the fire was already here. And I watched it. I had a first class view of the fire, and I continue having it for many years. I did not claim anything. I did not have, my view was damaged. My house was full of smoke. The walls and the doors in my house were shaking. So how can you be prepared? Jesus. We just took our stuff and left. We didn't take any pictures, anything. If you see a fire coming in your neighborhood, just leave. Don't wait for people to tell you. Just leave. The best way, know which way to go, which way to get out. We all saw the fire in Maui. A whole town got burned. So we're lucky to be alive right now. I have to say that. I'm lucky to be alive. I never moved to Paradise. And every time I think about it and I see all the pictures, everything that happened to those people. So we're so lucky to be alive, and we can only do our best and hope for the best for our environment to help us.
Thank you very much. All right. I did ask you this question already, right, Barbara? Okay, so Teresa, we'll start with you. The next question. How will you increase code enforcement?
How would I increase code enforcement? It's a very tough question because it seems like, I don't know, I see very little change and the way our community is. And I believe it's not just code enforcement, it's a whole community with how much we're paying in dues, how many houses are being rented. So we have so many different variables that we have to deal with. We have, like I said before, we have almost half of the lots that the owners are not paying, and we have people constantly saying, well, we need to push them to clear up their lots, but these people are not paying their dues on their property. So I think our community needs to change altogether as a whole to have those bottom areas to be worked on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Barbara, how will you increase code enforcement?
Well, I think first it comes a matter of letting people know what the code is and being aware of the code. There's a lot of codes through the the EC that people don't even know about, and they come around and try to enforce it, and you're like, well, where does it say that, you know? So people need to be aware of what the codes are. For the mitigating lots, I think that needs to be really enforced because it's a fire danger, especially when you have these absentee owners who don't take care of their lots, and then it falls on us to take care of them. So we find them, that doesn't seem to do any good. So I'm not sure how we can really enforce codes when people don't respect the code nor respect fines.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll start the next question off with Barbara. Do you believe that dues should be lowered ongoing?
I'm afraid the bad news, folks, is dues will never go lower. We're already operating as low as we can, and we don't want to give up our amenities. We can't give up our amenities. And we're going to have to sit tight and pull our belts in and save more money so that we can do the other things that are needed here. And there are a lot of needs here. So no, there won't be lowering dues.
Thank you. Teresa, same question. Do you believe that dues should be lowered ongoing?
I believe that we should look at try different ways to run a association. We have options. We could hire management companies that would take care of our golf course and our restaurant, and that would be a different way. So we have a restaurant that, you know, is doing better. It's doing a lot better, but it still has a subsidy attached to it. So there is some variables there. They're not, I mean, we have like over 66,000 community members here. So we have a big potential. We are the only restaurant of this size in our area. I mean, what do we have? A pizza place, we have a coffee place. Back in the before 2010, we used to have more than this restaurant. We used to have a Thai food place right here in the shopping center. We used to have, even one time, we had a Chick-fil-A out there. We had a sandwich place. We had what's it called? I can't think of the name right now. But we had, and they're all gone. The only place that is standing right now is the pizza place. Stay forever. So.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll start with you, Teresa. Uh-oh. All right. Please give concrete examples of work situations in which you worked collaboratively with others to solve complex problems in which you were called to set aside your own personal agenda. What was difficult about it, and what did you learn about yourself? I will repeat that if you like.
Please repeat it.
Okay. Please give concrete examples of work situations in which you worked collaboratively with others to solve complex problems in which you were called to set aside your own personal agenda. What was difficult about it, and what did you learn about yourself?
Well, I built a few homes, and so many times my agenda, whatever I want, had to be put aside and look at the problems broadly. When you get, say you're inexperienced and you're dealing with engineering and you're told you need some engineering walls done, you know, you just like, you have to put all your wants outside and think, you know, is it going to be possible or not? But yeah, I put together my whole house from scratch, from me digging the holes to have the soil test. I did that myself. Did I want to do it? No, but I did it. I did it because I wanted to save money. and learn. But yeah, those are a few examples.
Thank you very much. Barbara, would you like me to repeat the question?
Please.
Yes. Please give me concrete examples of work situations in which you worked collaboratively with others to solve complex problems in which you were called to set aside your own personal agenda. What was difficult about it and what did you learn about yourself?
Well, I worked in the film industry and I did a lot of work for the special effects department at Lucasfilm. So there were days where we were given a problem and we had to figure out how to invent the wheel all over again and how to invent something that had never been invented again. And so it took a lot of manpower and a lot of hours for us all to like let down our egos, don't like hang on to your idea and think that's the one, because we had to work collaboratively to find the best solution for the problem we were dealing with. Also, we had to stay till the job was done. Nobody got to go home because it was 7 o'clock. If it was midnight, we still were there until we could get this figured out. So what I learned about myself is that I could give up my ego. I could work with a group. I could let everybody voice their opinions and let the group decide what the best choice is. Give it a try, see if it flew, and then continue.
Thank you very much. Next question, we'll start with you, Barbara. What penalties do you support for people who violate rules such as starting fires?
I don't know what the penalty is for starting fires, but I know they have just caught a couple, I don't know if it's 2 people or 1 people. I read that they caught arsons who started a couple of fires and they will be going to jail for a long time. And I think it's pretty low to start a fire on purpose. Accidents do happen. The Valley Fire was started by an accident. It was a spark in somebody's workroom that started that whole fire. But if you got an arson out there that's starting fires, I say throw the book at them.
Thank you very much. Teresa, would you like me to repeat the question? What penalties do you support for people who violate rules such as starting fires?
Penalties from the association?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
The question is not clear.
That's
Yeah,
all I wrote.
I
What
can't-
penalties
I
do you
can't
support
answer
for
it.
people who violate rules such as starting fires?
Our county, our CAL FIRE have set of rules that they go by. I don't know of any of our associations, so yeah, the question is very unclear.
Okay, thank you very much. Next question. We'll start with you, Teresa. What is your experience with risk and liability and enforcing the CC&Rs, specifically with homeowners who do not adequately mitigate properties to prevent fires?
That's a very good question. And again, I'm going to say that this is a problem that we have an association that is affecting from how much we pay in dues and who's moving here, who owns this property, how we're going to deal about it. Because yes, we have a huge problem. And I think it needs to be dealt from the board and come up with ideas, put them as a bars and to either decrease the dues and lots so these more people are able to afford these places and take care of them. So our whole community will benefit at the end.
Thank you very much. Barbara, same question. If you like, I would repeat that. What is your experience with risk and liability and enforcing the CC&Rs, specifically with homeowners who do not adequately mitigate properties to prevent fires?
Well, I think this is a real shame and people don't take care of what you can see in the front, and then they're fined, and then then they weed whack, but there's an even bigger problem lurking behind the fences and backyards. And I think we need to start looking in the backyards, because some of the grass I've seen in backyards are 5-6 feet high. And just because you can't see it from the street doesn't mean there's not a big, huge fire risk sitting right next door to you. So I don't know how we'll do it. If we can legally put drones in the area. I hate to be like, super snoopers or, be like in everybody's business, but this is life and death stuff. This isn't like, I just want to see what you're growing back there, dude. This is life and death stuff. So I think we have got to figure out a way to find out what's going on behind the fences.
Thank you very much. Next question. We'll start with you, Barb. What is your experience with risk mitigation? How will you protect the communities from potential lawsuits?
Well, first of all, you make sure everybody can be bonded that's working for the association. That's a big step. Also, that rules are in place and are obeyed, like rules around the pool, that they're there for a reason. If it says no running, then children should not be running around the pools, because that leads to falling into the pool. If it says no jumping off the diving board, unless you know how to swim in deep water, then no jumping off the diving board. So it reduces our risk if people abide by the rules, and rules are only there. I mean, we all tend to hate rules since we were, 10 years old, but rules are there to keep us safe. So I think that's how we reduce our risk.
Thank you very much. Teresa, same question. What is your experience with risk mitigation? How will you protect the community from potential lawsuits?
By informing the members proper in every way possible, the rules and all the common areas. So we have email through even well, that's all I can think. I mean, email or since we don't have the magazine anymore, I mean, have big signs in front of the facilities about our rules in place.
Thank you very much. All right, next question. We'll start with Teresa. There's a question, like it's not asking a question, so. Yeah.
How many more we got?
Maybe 10 more. All right. What is your experience collaborating with regional partners and government agencies, and how will you improve the association positions within the county?
Can you repeat the question,
yes,
please?
Yes. What is your experience collaborating with regional partners and government agencies, and how will you improve the association's position within the county?
By learning about what's available to us, be involved with the county and find out about what HOAs can benefit in the county, what benefits can we get. Talking about the levy, it seems like a problem that is being going on forever, and the constant question is, we don't know who owns it. FEMA says that it doesn't say there is a levy. It's not even a levy. I mean, all of these questions we constantly have about.
Thank you very much. Barbara, What is your experience collaborating with regional partners and government agencies, and how will you improve the association position within the county?
I got nothing.
That's okay. Thank you very much. All right, Barbara, we'll start with you. No, I will do. Thank you. Have you ever even accidentally done something that endangers this community and not called 911 within 10 minutes?
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll start with you, Teresa. How do you plan to advance the community's fire mitigation efforts? I think this is kind of a repeat question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, move forward. Is anyone, this is for Teresa, sorry, is anyone from HVLA working with the county economic development board?
Can you repeat it, see if I can?
Has anyone from HVLA working with the county economic development board?
I think they missed some information there. I don't understand the
Fine,
question.
Yeah. Is anyone from it? I don't think we can answer you. Yeah, so yeah, it's fine. We'll move forward. Teresa, we'll go back to you. Okay. HVLA is the second highest population center in Lake County. How will you work with regional partners and the county?
I believe we already answered that.
Yeah, I think this is a repeat as well. So I promised everyone I will read every question. So that's what I'm doing. So we'll move on. Teresa, again, let's see if we get one good. Here we go. No, another repeat. Okay, Teresa, what are your thoughts about solar energy for the future of HVLA? What are your thoughts on warming and cooling center at the Greenview?
I'm all for the warming and cooling center at the Greenview. We are a town. There's a senior center that is in Middletown. They have a senior center and they're not even an association. They have a beautiful place out there. Why don't we have one here? We have these big rooms that are constantly heated. Um, I, I mean, I think that the restaurant should be sufficient to be breaking even alone. And I believe these two rooms should be for the membership, especially when they're not in use. Let the members use it, and when it's needed, I mean, people can be dying at home from the cold weather. Why aren't we opening this place here for them? Many don't want to come because they feel that they have to buy something at the restaurant and they don't have the cash for it. So let's offer them something. We used to have it. The old Greenview used to be open. So why can we continue that same?
Thank you very much. Barbara, what are your thoughts about solar energy for the future of HVLA? What are your thoughts on warming and cooling center at the Greenview?
Well, I absolutely believe solar energy is the future for HVLA. This is not a want, this is a need. We've got to move forward. We've got to get into the 21st century and get solar going. Warming and cooling center, yes, I think it should be right here. We have these two big rooms that are heated and cooled. We don't have any way to not cool them. There's no like zones connected to our heat or our cooling system. That would have been too much sense. So we don't have that. We don't have doors to block it off. And so why try to stick everybody into that little activities room where you can't see out and expect people to feel okay about being in there? Why can't we invite people here, especially this winter when we lose power and they don't have any heat? Or in the summer when they have no air conditioning? Doesn't cost anything to put a couple of jugs of water out and let people relax here, charge their phones, check their emails. And I think it's a very big misuse of these rooms. And let's not forget, who pays for these rooms? Who's the dime that pays for these rooms? It's not the Greenview, it's the members.
Thank you very much. Okay, Barbara, what is your experience with reading and interpreting legislation and updating or writing policies in response?
I don't have a lot of experience on it. I'm trying to get better at it by researching. I lean a lot on a fellow director who is a fantastic researcher. She researches everything, and I'm trying to follow her in her footsteps. And we do have policies here that need to be rewritten. In fact, our bylaws are way past the point they need to be gone over, and it will be a big chore. So I'm encouraging everybody, if you're not on a committee and you're retired and you're just sitting home, get on a committee, get involved, find out what makes this place tick. I was on the Commons Committee before I got on the board, and I opened my eyes what it takes to keep, our amenities going. So that's all I know about that.
Thank you, Teresa. I will repeat the question. What is your experience with reading and interpreting legislation and updating or writing policies in response?
Well, we need to be updated within the law. What's going on? If you read our bylaws, a lot of times they're like broad, and our law requires us to update constantly, and it looks like I don't see much updating for what I've been reading.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Teresa, do you understand our man-made lake has not been dredged in 55 years? We have most permits in place, and this project needs to be completed.
Well, for what I know, our community is, 55 years old, so it has never been dredged. I believe our lake gets a lot of pollutants from all the houses around it. So we all should be putting an effort in the way we manicure our lawns, what we're using, because we need to understand that all of those pollutants, they're going into the water. I recently learned that our lake is, there are pesticides being put in that water to kill some lake weeds. And I was really sad because I don't use that lake anymore. I would hope that we start using more natural resources. We have a few aerating systems on the water, and I hope we get more of those to keep our water in a better. But dredging, we've never done it. So, and you said that we have the permits, but I thought they expired. They had some guy that was going to allow the mud to go on his property, but then later he sold it, and all these different things that come up. So I don't know if it's ever going to be done. Like you said, 55 years and it was never done.
Thank you, Barbara. Do you understand our man-made lake has not been dredged in 55 years? We have most permits in place, and this project needs to be completed.
Yes, I do understand that, but I don't know whether or not dredging the lake really needs to be done, and it needs to be looked in farther. Also, the association is only responsible for our amenities. We don't own the lake. We only have the shoreline, and we only have the amenities of the shoreline are Big Beach, the marina, and Little Beach. So I don't see how we are responsible to dredge the whole lake shore. I think we have to dredge those 3 if they need to be dredged. But I think it might be up to homeowners who own on that lake to dredge in front of their homes. Sorry, not a popular subject, but that's what I feel.
Thank you very much. We'll start with you, Barbara, on the next question. This is a repeat. Okay, Barbara, do you understand you can be held personally liable beyond our insurance for certain acts of negligence?
Yes, I do. I mean, there's negligence if you don't do your fiduciary duty, like, well, I can't even think of what that might be. If you don't report things as you see them, I guess that would be one of them, but you can be held liable, and I do understand that exists.
Thank you. Teresa, same question. Do you understand you can be held personally liable beyond our insurance for certain acts of negligence?
We who?
Pardon?
We who? Everyone?
Do you understand that you can be held
Oh,
personally liable? That is the question. I didn't make the questions. I'm just reading the questions.
can you repeat it again?
Do you understand you can be held personally liable beyond our insurance for certain acts of negligence?
I assume if it's as a board members, of course.
Thank you. But this is a repeat. Yeah, but it's, well, I'll ask it. Okay. Are you, I think we're with Teresa. Teresa, are you bondable?
I am bondable.
Thank you. Barbara,
Yes, I am.
thank you. We're down to 3 more questions, everybody. We're almost done here. No, that's a repeat. So now we're down to 2. Oh, no, that's 3. Sorry, they stuck together. Okay. Who are we with now? Barbara? Okay. What is the response time for local law enforcement? I think this is more of a question, not for the board, not for
Well,
you
for
guys.
Trivial Pursuit, it takes at least 25 minutes for a Clear Lake officer to get here. Right,
Right.
John?
Teresa, do you care to answer
Sheriff,
that?
yeah.
Do you care to answer that one?
Did not hear the question.
What is the response time for local law enforcement?
It varies.
Okay. All right, now we're down to 2 questions. That's a repeat. One last one. All right, last question. Teresa, how do you plan to market, advertise the golf course and restaurant and event center?
I am not, I'm not one of the managers of those 2, but I will propose bringing in a management company for both. And I do believe the employees can still work here, but under professional, more direct professionals that constantly work with this, the golf courses and the restaurants everywhere. And I believe we need to try something different because what we have is not working. Our golf course and the restaurant together with the reserve money that we put in, I believe is roughly around $3 million that we contribute to both businesses a year.
Thank you, Barbara. How do you plan to market, advertise the golf course and restaurant and event center?
Well, I know magazines are good, going through the local merchants association. helps wineries. If you can leave brochures out at wineries, that helps. And I think that's all being covered. I don't really have any big game plan about how to market anything else. I just don't have that.
Thank you very much. And that's the last of the questions. I wish you both the best of luck. And thank you everyone for attending tonight's meeting. Have a great evening. All right, my apologies. We do have closing statements. So since we started with Teresa on the opening, right? Is that how we did? We'll start with the closing statement, and you have 3 minutes of closing statements. Sorry about that. We'll start with Barbara.
I'm asking for your vote to be on the board of directors. I feel I will give it my best attention and work to make it a good 3 years. I want to see us move forward on our solar. I've been on the panel for solar and that's in the works. Want to see the community center happen. I want to put time in on that. And I hope we all heal a community and come back together and can relax and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Teresa.
So I hope more people get involved and apply to get on the board. I mean, this time it was only 3 and ended up with only 2. All of you guys know that I'm very stubborn. I took my application personally to our people that help us with election. I drove myself out there to bring my application. That's how stubborn I am. And I'm going to continue either as a member or on the board. As a member, I can push petitions. And the board, I can maybe push for bars to change the way we do things. We can't continue like this. Our house's values are very low. We need to get back up there. For the like Barbara was saying, for the fire, I believe we should move it to a closer date. See what else? The fire standards from the fire, CAL FIRE. I've been reading that our properties should have 5 feet around the property to have clear either a sidewalk, either sand or bare dirt. If you don't have the money for that, we don't have the money for that. I'm hoping that our board of directors will push these standards from the CAL FIRE. Solar energy, I believe, because for solar energy, we need the membership to get a loan to get solar. It's so expensive. Currently, I would think that the whole association spends probably 20 grand a month and the electric bill. I know just the restaurant is about, I think as high as $10,000 for a month. So it would be good to get the membership involved to maybe, if the members want to get a loan to get solar, that would be great. It's something that we would have. I think that's it. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. Now we could adjourn.